Yes, yes, you are going to have a look on the background of the harvest, of course.
Wonderful. That's what we like to
Yes,
see.
that's why I gave you this meeting today.
Yes, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time. And
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We met for the
thank you.
first time. I think it was just after confinement, and I tasted
Yes,
through some of the wines then, and it was a real pleasure and a treat to taste everything. And
it was a really pleasure to meet again some people and to have some tasting also. And yes, it was just after the end of the confinement,
Mhm.
I think it was one of my first tasting. So
Ah,
so
okay.
it was like come back to normal life.
Yes.
Mm.
And hopefully things will start to return a little more to normal as the days go on. We're back and
Uh,
it's
we
normal,
hope
it's
so.
not. Yeah, we definitely hope so. We would really
Mm.
appreciate it. So tell us, first of all, tell us who you are, who you work with, and what you do.
Ah, so hello, my name is Benjamin Gutman. So I am the manager of Chateau Jouvente, and you can see a part of our vineyard just here. So you can see also the truck. And I am the manager, but I am also one of the owner because Chateau Jouvente is a small family estate, and I am one of the member of the family.
Okay. Oh, one of the members of the family. I love
Yes,
it.
one of the son of my father.
Okay, yes. And Chateau Jouvente is where exactly?
So Chateau Jouvente is close to Bordeaux. It's something like 30 kilometers south of Bordeaux, and
Mhm.
we are in the grape appellation designation. So we are on the left bank and south of Bordeaux.
Okay. And by the left bank, it's the region is separated by river for those that don't know. And what are some of the main differences between the wines of the left bank and the right bank?
That's a good question. That's a very, very good question. The difference, one of the main difference is of course the soil.
Okay.
So the quality, and it is not a judgment. The quality of the soil is not the same. Here okay, you can see my soil here.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see it, but there is some herbs, but we are on a soil which is characterized by the fact that there is some stone, some gravel,
Hmm.
okay, some
Okay.
gravels, and uh, and this is one of the difference with the right bank. So we are on a soil which is a little bit, which is sandy. It can be also with clay, but it is mixed with gravels.
Okay.
And these gravels are their own characteristics. I mean that the characteristic of our soil it is that we are on a soil which is fresh.
Hmm.
Okay, it is a cold soil, and and it is also a very poor soil. So
Okay.
it is a difference with the right bank.
Okay.
On the right bank, I guess the soil is a little bit more rich, but it is not uh, it is not a disadvantage for us to
Okay.
have a poor soil
Okay.
and a cold soil. Why?
Okay.
Because the cycle of maturity is a little bit slower, so we can harvest, we can pick our grapes a little bit later, so we can wait for a good maturity. And for the red wines, for the red grapes, we can wait for the maturity of the tannins. Okay, we can take a little bit more time. So if the climate is good, if there is not too much humidity and there is sun, that means that we can go a little bit. We can look something more in a way.
Okay. Okay.
For example, for our white for our white wine, sorry, we just we start to pick on the 26th of August.
Okay.
And many other vineyards start to do it from the 15th. So we can take a little bit more time. It is one of the characteristics of the grape appellation.
Okay.
And also the soil is very poor. So the roots have to go very deep to take the water and to take the nutrients what it needs.
But
so,
isn't that something that is actually a better thing for wine and for the vines to have to work harder to get to water? Doesn't that
I
make
guess
it's
a little bit better. Bonjour. It's a little bit better because there is a little bit less hydric stress.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't. For example, our summer was very dry, and our vines didn't suffer of a lack of water.
Okay.
They suffer because the sun was very powerful, let's say like that, but our soil didn't have a lack of water.
Okay. Oh, that's good. No lack of water, even though the summer was actually, was this past summer considered very hot or very warm in by normal standards, or was it about average?
It was hot, but now each summer are very hot and dry in Bordeaux.
Okay.
I mean, we arrive at Chateau Jouvente, and my family arrived and myself arrived in 2016. Except 2017, we had always some very dry and hot summer. What is more, I mean, you know, it's a question only of adaptation. But what is more, where I have a little bit more worry, it is that we can feel the climate change. And overall, during the winter, for example, if we compare the temperature of the two last winters with the winter 2019 and 2020, we gained 3 degrees compared to last year, and we gained in total 5 degrees compared to 2 years ago. This is a little bit more annoying for me.
Okay. Now we're talking about weather. How does the weather affect when you harvest your grapes, or does it affect it? Do you get to make the decision on when you harvest, or is that a decision that is made by like a governing board or something like that?
There's different aspects to decide when we are going to start to harvest.
Okay.
But we never know 1 week before if we are going to harvest or not. You know, we know exactly when we are going to harvest just a few days before. Okay. So we can anticipate, but not really a lot. This is the first point. So actually, we are very dependent on the weather and on the maturity of the grapes. For example, if now we are harvesting our grapes, and today it is today it is Semillon and Muscadelle, and now our guys are picking our Muscadelle that you can see here.
Ah, yes.
If we take into consideration I mean, we have to take into consideration the weather, the maturity, the acidity in the grapes, okay? And that's all. We can say that's all. But if the weather is sunny and dry, we can push the harvest a little bit later. But it depends also on the concentration of sugar, because the concentration of sugar will have an impact on the alcohol and on the aromas, okay? But it will depend also on the concentration of acidity. So we need to have a good, we need to have enough acidity. For example, this last week, 10 days ago, we harvested our Sauvignon because we had a big risk. Let's say that the rate of alcohol of sugar was a little bit low, but the risk that the acidity will be even lower was bigger. And so we had to take it into account, and we started not to push more and to wait more, but to do it what we consider at a good time, because it was a good time for the good balance. And if we wait more, we could have a one with not enough acidity. And this is also one of, for me, one of the main characteristics of the grape wine in our appellation. It is that we need this acidity in the wine, this freshness, because it is what it can offer the length in the mouth.
Okay. And when you are looking at the grapes or trying to prepare for the harvest and to know the sugar and the acidity of the grapes, do you have machines or technology that that you use, or is it just you taste the grape and you know what it should taste like?
So first we test the grapes, and then we are going to pick few grapes, you know, few fruits, and we are going to analyze it in the laboratory.
Ah, okay. And so the laboratory process must be pretty quick, because if you taste it or you send it through the laboratory and they say, oh, yes, it's time, it's ready, you have to gather the people up, get them in to help pick, and then jump right in the vineyard, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So usually we analyze, we test, and we analyze. It is a common decision because there is myself, there is my technical manager also, and my advisor in oenology.
Okay.
And the advisor of in oenology is quite important because he has the feedback of other vineyards. So we have to take into account his experience in a way. And then, yes, you know, it's like a green light that opens, and then we call our guys, and we start to harvest mainly 2 or 3 days later.
Okay. And then how long does harvest usually last? How long does it take you?
So how long? That's a good question.
Yeah.
So,
and also let me backtrack. How big is your vineyard?
Yes, so my vineyard is not so big, but it's quite important. It's around 8.7 hectares.
Okay.
And so we have a density of 5,500 vines per hectare. So we need to take care of about 50,000 babies anyway.
Yes.
Okay? So to harvest everything, we need, for example, for our white wine, you know, we have 8.8 hectares, and we need 3 days of work. So usually we need between 11 and 13 days of work to harvest everything.
Okay. And how many people do you have? Oh, with 8. Okay. How many people do you have helping? How many of you are there?
Today, for the right one, as the superficie is lower and the superficie is quite low, and let's say that we have to follow a kind of bite, you know, because when we harvest the white grapes, we are going then to press it. So we need to fool the press machine, and so the bite, the rhythm of work is less important than the red one. So we need 10 people who are picking the grapes.
Okay.
And we need 2 people who are carrying the grapes.
Okay. All right.